this week's edition of Post-Truth News. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Bernie. This week, the truth behind a reported CNN porn tape scandal. The reality about the supposed tens of thousands of fraudulent ballot papers casted for Hillary Clinton.
And a look at how online news sites have been fabricating stories around celebrity figures during the recently passed US presidential elections.
First up, the viral news published on The Independent, The New York Post, The Daily Mail, and many other news sites that last Friday, during a premiere on a new episode of Parts Unknown on CNN, an hour-long of hardcore pornography supposedly played instead.
This story collects millions of views across the web, particularly on The Verge, which reported that in a confusing bit of twists and turns, CNN have issued a statement blaming RCN, the Residential Communications Network, for the incident. However, it did also point out later on in the article that this came from a source not affiliated with either company.
Yet, in a surprising turn of events, it seems that the entirety of the newly understood false news story was due to a single tweet by the user of @SoLikeRose, who tweeted, "I can't wait until RCN Network wakes up tomorrow and realizes that hardcore porn was broadcasted on CNN instead of the Parts Unknown tonight."
In respect to the sites that covered it, well done. You successfully created a prime example of clickbait at its finest. I hope the ad revenue is worth it, guys. Next up, a continuation of a story that's been ongoing for a while now, but seems to have an explanation to it finally. In October, a story first published online by the Christian Times newspaper claimed that tens of thousands of fake ballots had been found in a warehouse in Ohio. The ballots had supposedly been cast for Hillary Clinton and were found inside sealed ballot boxes that assumingly would have been counted alongside real election ballot boxes during the elections.
The story has now been disproven by Snoops, however not before it went viral. One website's version of the story was shared with over 6.1 million people, according to CrowdTangle, that tracks the use of social media posts across the internet.
Interestingly enough, according to Silverman, 17 out of 20 fake news stories posted during the final run-ups to the US elections had information favouring Donald Trump, in contrast to a lot of mainstream stories who are pro-Clinton. Pieces like "Trump's history of corruption is mind-boggling" from the Washington Post and "I ran the CIA, now I'm endorsing Hillary Clinton" from the New York Times.
Next, a look at some of the most interesting false stories that have gone viral in relation to celebrities and their affiliations to, surprise surprise, the US presidential candidates.
First up, the story claiming that Megyn Kelly, American journalist, political commentator and the host of The Kelly File, who was allegedly fired by Fox News in August, may not be what it first seemed. It said Kelly was allegedly let go after she endorsed Clinton, criticised Donald Trump and suffered a drop in ratings that placed her behind MSNBC's The Rachel Maddow Show.
The story was traced to endingthefed.com and was proven to be false. In fact, Fox News recently offered Kelly $20 million a year to remain with the network. Still, a version of the story was shared with more than 724,000 people, in particular, Colorado for Trump Facebook page.
Another example of these kind of false claims was in March, when a completely fabricated New York Times site published an article claiming that Elizabeth Warren was endorsing Bernie Sanders for president. The story copied the fonts and design of the New York Times and even used the bylines of two of its political reporters.
The original fake story was shared to at least 700,000 people. The top source of the shared link was a Facebook page called Bernie Sanders, The Revolution Continues.
The person in question, Elizabeth Ann Warren, is an American academic and politician. She's a member of the Democratic Party and is the senior United States Senator for Massachusetts. Yet this did not give her any affiliations to the previous candidate. The Times was forced to address the fake article and clarify that the site on which it appeared was fraudulent and in no way connected to the real Times.
Finally, to our regular feature on the show, the quick fire round.
Yes, and this week we'd like to rectify some of the questionable posts put up on theyoungin.com. Firstly, no. 78% of Americans do not hope that when a cataclysmic event wipes out humanity, it will feature a large tidal wave.
Secondly, no, thousands of rats were not tumbling uncontrollably inside a Snoopy balloon during the Thanksgiving parade this week.
Also, no, a kidnapped journalist was not forced to explain to ISIS captors what BuzzFeed News is.
And finally, no, there's no evidence to suggest that the volume and severity of neck injuries will increase in the next 5 years due to the rising use of virtual reality. Also, to clarify, it does not have an impact upon climbing industries, as stated in one video they released around the subject.
Well, that's all from us this week on Post-Truth News. We'd like to thank you all for tuning in and remind you to treat the internet like a toilet wall. Don't believe everything you read in it to be true. I've been Kevin.
And I've been Bernie. Thank you, and see you next time.